In this lesson, we're going to talk about the evolving IS audit process, which is something we realize has to continually change to be able to keep up with the changes in technologies. One of the things we see is what we call automated work papers. Now, more and more, auditors are relying on automation to be able to create the reports, risk analysis, audit programs, the results, testing evidence, etc., things that we've talked about. And it's especially true when you think about the vast amount of information that an auditor probably has to go through. We need this kind of automated format to be able to help. Just remember, don't solely rely on the automation. The results of those should still be checked for factual correctness to make sure that it basically is getting the right information for you and producing quality evidence. Now, there are a lot of automation packages that can be used. It could be something as easy as a word processor, spreadsheets. Standard audit work paper packages are being implemented for the medium to large departments to make this function of auditing a lot easier. And these can be helpful to be able to facilitate audit work. You could almost, and I've used this term before, think of it as kind of a cookie cutter approach, but I think it builds a great foundation of helping me remember this is what we need, and we can certainly add to it, we can supplement it, and we don't have to just solely rely on that type of automation. We can add to it, and it, I think, builds a good framework for getting a good audit. Now, as an auditor, you have to be concerned with the what I call the CIA, the confidentiality, the integrity, and the availability of the audit records. And you should have some at least minimum controls to be addressed for security reasons of protecting this information. Now, notice what I'm saying. It's your information that we need to make sure is safe. That means you should have controls that guard access to the work papers, controlling the audit trails, including when a document was changed and who changed it. Very important, I think, as far as keeping track of the updates to the overall audit. Automating features to revive record approvals, we call that a job approval. And what that basically means is that if I do make a change to a document, rather than that being set in stone, there should be a review process to look at those documents to make sure that it looks right. So again, a job approval. The necessary security and integrity controls, maybe encryption, that type of thing. Certainly backup and restore procedures so you don't lose the information through a hard drive crash or theft or something like that. And as I already mentioned, encryption techniques to try to keep that information secure so that if you did have a theft, let's say of the laptop you were using or the hard drive, the files would still be useless to the people who have them. Another thing we look at is what's called integrated auditing. Now, this is a process where the different audit disciplines are combined together to assess key internal controls over an operation, a process, or an entity. You could think of it this way, that in today's world with the high reliance of IT, the folks that might be doing a financial audit realize that they need to understand what's happening on the infrastructure controls that is protecting access to their information. That's a part of what they need to do. And likewise, when we're doing the IT-IS audit, we need to understand the business processes like the financial part that can be affected by having controls that are not up to the date, up to speed, or adequate for the job. And so we need to kind of integrate these two areas together because they have some overlap where they can affect each other. So the integrated approach's job is to focus on risk. Now, you need risk analysis assessments to identify what risks are arising from the entity and its environment as they pertain to internal controls. So if I'm doing a financial audit, I need to understand about the controls used in the network environment that provide access and communication to the servers that may be containing this financial information. Now, at this point, the auditor should understand and identify the risks in the areas that they are auditing. And a key element of the integrated approach then is to discuss these risks among all of those audit teams together. The integrated process typically involves the identification of risks that are faced by the area being audited. It should also have the identification of relevant key controls. There should be a review and understanding of those key controls, methods of performing tests on those controls, testing that the management controls are working efficiently also. Remember, management can be a series of policies and procedures and guidelines. And there should be a combined report or opinion on control risks, designs, and weaknesses. So again, combined because we've integrated the auditing process of these different areas. Integrated auditing has changed a lot of the ways in which stakeholders look at the audit process. It basically gives them a better feeling because those being audited have a better understanding of the objectives, as you're able to see the linkage between controls and the audit process. And at the same time, it should also help management see and have the same understanding of this overall process.